Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I am doing my Royal Rumble 2025 results. I wasn't originally going to do this video to film this week because I wasn't feeling the greatest when I got home from work. I'm not going to get into it, but I didn't really feel too well. I didn't really feel like up to making a video, but I'm feeling a little bit better now, so here I am. I started feeling better about 20 minutes ago, and I was like, well, I'm trying to clean my room out a little bit. So I was in the middle of doing that when I started feeling better. So I was like, well, by the time I'm done this, it'll be like 12:30. So, and that's usually the time I go to bed. So I wasn't originally going to film this video even after I started feeling better. But I was like, you know what? Hopefully it probably won't even take me very long. So I was like, why not? So I figured I might as well just do it anyway. So here I am. I'm feeling a little bit better now, but when I got home and came downstairs into my room and had a little snack after I got home from work, I wasn't really feeling the greatest. Honestly, I wasn't even feeling up to having a snack. I have popcorn. Usually at the end of every night, when I get home from work, I usually have nachos or popcorn or chips and a chocolate bar or something. Tonight I had popcorn. And usually, literally every single night, I kid you not, every single night I have something. Usually, this is how it works out in my house, for me anyway. Sundays and Wednesdays, I have nachos. Mondays and Fridays, I have chips and a chocolate bar to watch wrestling. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I have popcorn. And this is Saturday, so I have popcorn. So it's literally like that every single day, every single week. So I came home from work and I wasn't even up to really eating popcorn. It was delicious, and I did eat quite a bit of it. But honestly, I wasn't even feeling up to eating that. Which is strange, because I love popcorn. It's one of my favorite things. So anyway, yeah, so I did eat it, and it was absolutely delicious. I loved it. But yeah, when I got home, I didn't really feel up to doing anything or eating anything, which is pretty strange for me. So, yeah. So I wasn't really up to filming a video, but I'm feeling a little bit better now, so here I am. So enough rambling, I'm just going to jump into my results. So before I do want to start by saying that when I do start talking about the Royal Rumble matches for the men and the women, I am going to talk about each entrant, who entered at what number. I'm not going to go into how many eliminations they had, how long they were in there, or who they were eliminated by. I'm not going to go through any of that. I'm just going to say who entered at 1 to all the way to 30. So, yeah, and obviously I'm going to talk about the winners of each match. So first is the Women's Royal Rumble match. When I do my predictions, I don't go by the order of which match is first and last, because I don't know that type of stuff until the show actually starts. So, but obviously with my results, these are in the order of which match was first and last. So the first match of the night was the Women's Royal Rumble match. I'm not going to say who won yet, which if you guys have look through Facebook or whatever, some of you guys probably already know who won, but anyway, I'm not going to say who won yet. I'm going to go through the entrants first, and then I'm going to say who won and how long the match was. So entrant number 1 was Io Sky. Actually, I should start by saying, in case you guys don't know what a Royal Rumble match is, because some people don't. If you're not a wrestling fan, then you probably don't know. But Royal Rumble is a match. It's usually about an hour-ish long. Sometimes, like this year, over an hour, well over an hour. But 30 people come out into the ring every 2 minutes. So they start the match with 2 people coming out. And after the second entrant, every 2 minutes, a minute and a half, sometimes is different every year, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, another person comes out. And it keeps going until 30 people have entered. And those 30 people have to try to eliminate each other. And eliminations happen when someone is thrown over the top rope with both feet hitting the floor. If you're thrown over the top rope and your left foot only hits the floor, but your right foot didn't, you're still in the match. if you go through the middle rope and both feet hit the floor, you're still not eliminated. Eliminations only occur when a star is thrown over the top rope with both feet hitting the floor. And the last woman standing, or men, because they have a men's one too, will win and go on to face the champion of their choosing for the title at WrestleMania, which is usually in like March or April month. So, moving on. Number 1 was Io Sky. Number 2, Liv Morgan. Number 3, the first NXT star of the night, Roxanne Perez, and she. I know I said that I wasn't going to talk about who, like, how long that each person was in there for, but Roxanne was in there. She set the record for the longest person to be in a single Royal Rumble match. Not combined Royal Rumble matches, in one single one. Roxanne Perez entered. Now, mind you, she's only, like, pretty short. Like, I don't know how short she is. She's maybe my height. I'm not super tall, but I am, like, on the shorter side. But, and even, she might even be shorter than me. I don't know. But she is pretty short. And she's, very impressive. She's from NXT. She's only, like, a year older than me. I'm 22. I'll be 23 in August. So she's only, like, 23-ish. Something like that. 22, 23, 24. So we're around the same age. She's just older by, like, a year or two. She was in there for an hour, 7 minutes, and 47 seconds. I was mad impressed by her. Like, she was in the final 2 with the winner. She was the last person to be eliminated, and she entered at number 3. She set the record for the person to be in a single Royal Rumble the longest, men and women combined, as far as I know. I love Roxanne. She's very impressive. She's incredible. Moving on. Number 4, Lyra Valkyria. Number 5, Chelsea Green. Number 6, B-Fab. Number 7, Ivy Nile. Number 8, Zoe Stark. Number 9, from NXT, Lash Legend. She is a beast. I love her. Number 10, Bianca Belair. Number 11, Shayna Baszler. Number 12, Bayley. Number 13, Sonya Deville. And I have something to say about Sonya Deville. She got released last night. I was very surprised because she just came back. They were using her quite a bit with Pure Fusion Collective with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. And she got released last night. WWE actually recently released a bunch of people. They released Duke Hudson from NXT. Last night they released, I think, Sonya Deville, Blair Davenport, which I wasn't surprised. I mean, she was never being used. They called her up in the draft last year, and they did not use her at all. She might have had, like, 4 matches in the span of a year. So, it sucks because she still is an incredible wrestler, but I understood why, like, they released her. They literally never used her. She was barely shown on TV, which again is very unfortunate because she is absolutely incredible. I loved Blair. And then this morning I found out they also released the OC. Oh yeah, they also released the Authors of Pain yesterday, which they literally released them like a couple years ago. Then they came back there last year, the year before, to align themselves with Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and they're only released again. Anyway, moving on. I think there was another woman released today. I can't remember who it was. I'm trying to find it. Or was it Blair? I don't know. Isla Dawn. She was also released, which honestly I was kind of surprised a little bit about that too. I mean, she was barely being used, both her and Alba Fire. But, I mean, last year and this year, she wasn't in a single Royal Rumble match in her entire career. They called both her and her partner, Alba Fire, up 2 years ago in the draft, and they were barely shown. They won the titles, and then they just vanished. They called them up. They vanished. Well, actually, no. They called them up from NXT to the main roster. And then they lost the titles. Then they vanished for a few months. Then they came back and won the titles again. Then they vanished, and I haven't seen them since. Or we haven't seen them since. So, I mean, I wasn't really surprised with Isla Dawn. I'll be more surprised if Alba Fire gets released than Isla, but I loved Isla, so it's also very unfortunate. And they also released Giovanni Vinci, which I'm not even surprised. Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser kicked him out of Imperium, and then he had one, maybe two matches, if that, and then he just vanished. So I'm not surprised at all. So there's that. And they also, I can't remember if I said this already or not, but they also released the OC, which, yeah, like I said, they too, they were barely being used when they came back. They had a bit of a storyline with AJ Styles and Michin, but there's that. And I think that's all the people that was released this time around. I don't know if they're releasing any more people, but with Sonya Deville gone, I don't know what they're going to do with Pure Fusion Collective. If they're going to break them up, or if they're going to have Zoe and Shayna do their own thing, like, together, and still be Pure Fusion Collective, just minus Sonya Deville. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but moving on. Where was I? Number 14, Maxine Dupree. Number 15, Naomi. Number 16 from NXT. I love this woman, Jada Parker. Number 17, Piper Niven. Number 18, Natalia. Number 19 from, well, I can't really say from TNA because she just recently left TNA and signed with WWE. But Jordynne Grace. I love her. I've never watched TNA before, but I said this earlier this week that I was going to start watching it, but I ended up forgetting about it. But next Thursday, I think it's on Thursdays. So next Thursday, I'm going to try to watch it. So, because I've heard a lot of good things, and a lot of old wrestlers from WWE that I loved are in there. So, I might end up watching that next week. We'll see. Number 20, Michin. Number 21, the returning Alexa Bliss. She just returned from having a baby. And I missed her so much. I'm so glad she's back. Number 22, Zelina Vega. Number 23, Candice LeRae. Number 24, one of my favorite women from NXT in the history of NXT, Stephanie Vaquer. I love her. She's insane. She is stunning. Moving on. Number 25, Trish Stratus. Number 26, Raquel Rodriguez. 27, Charlotte Flair. 28, from NXT, Julia. I love her too. Number 29, Nia Jax. And number 30, Nikki Bella, she actually was one of the first women's wrestlers I've ever watched. So, she is the first wrestler out of the women, I should say, that I actually became a fan of. So, I was super happy to see her come back. Apparently, she's coming back to stay for a while. I don't know. We haven't seen her since the Rumble, so I don't know if there's any truth to that. But anyway, the match lasted an hour and 10 minutes and 20 seconds, with Charlotte Flair winning by last eliminating Roxanne Perez. The next match of the night was DIY, which is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, versus the Motor City Machine Guns, which is Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. I keep saying Chris Sabian, but I'm thinking Kip Sabian. I think it's from AEW. Anyway, in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team titles. The match lasted 14 minutes, with DIY winning thanks to the help from the Street Profits. They returned and attacked both teams with crutches. So, apparently they're heels now, which I'm not mad about. I'm interested. The third match of the night was Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Championship in a ladder match. It lasted 25 minutes and 5 seconds, and it was probably one of the best matches of the night. Usually, okay, I can't say that it was the best match of the night, but besides the Royal Rumble, if I had to choose between the tag team title match and this match, I would definitely say this one was better. I loved watching it. Every single minute of this match I was like tuned in, focused completely on this match. Honestly, so far it's one of my favorite matches in Royal Rumble history, besides the actual Royal Rumble matches. So, it's up there with one of my favorite matches ever. So, there's that. Anyway, Cody Rhodes won in 25 minutes and 5 seconds, and the last match of the night was the men's, I almost said Elimination Chamber match, but no, that's March 1st. It was a men's Royal Rumble match. The first entrant was Rey Mysterio. Number 2 was Penta, which I loved that whole moment. The two luchadors and are the first two entrants. That was so fun to see. I love that. Number 3, Chad Gable. Number 4, Carmelo Hayes. I want to see Carmelo, if he's in the Rumble next year, I want to see him enter at a later number, because this is only his second Royal Rumble. In last year's Rumble, he entered at number 5. This year was number 4. It's not a big deal, but maybe next year have him enter at 16 or even 13. But the first 10, the first 5 even, he hasn't entered past number 5, which, yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal. He's an amazing wrestler, and he could have a good showing, regardless of what number he entered at. But I would love to see him maybe next year enter at number 20 or 16 or something. Number 5, Santos Escobar. Number 6, Otis. Number 7, Braun Breaker. Number 8 was originally Akira Tozawa, but as he was walking down the ramp, Carmelo Hayes got mad because he was eliminated and attacked him. So he had to be taken to the backstage, and I Show Speed, I think it's from YouTube, took his place at number 8. And he only lasted not even a minute, 56 seconds or something, before being eliminated by, I can't remember who, Braun Breaker. Yeah, that's who eliminated Speed. But he literally eliminated Otis. That's impressive. Number 9 was Sheamus. Number 10, Jimmy Uso. Number 11, Andrade. Number 12, Jacob Fatu. Okay. I kind of make this joke with my mom every time we're watching SmackDown. And I'm like, isn't he your favorite? Every time Jacob Fatu or Tama Tonga or Solo Sikoa, whoever, and enter or are on my TV screen, I look at mom and I'm like, look, you love them, don't you? And they're like, and she's like, yeah, right. Honestly, I'm a fan of Jacob. Obviously, I would very much rather the OG bloodline, but if I had to pick a favorite from the current or the new bloodline with Solo and Tama Tonga or Tongaloa, I would say Jacob Fatu. He's actually kind of fine. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people don't really like him, but I find honestly, not many wrestlers do this. I think the only wrestlers that that this happens to, for me, if that makes sense, would be Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Pretty Deadly. And maybe a couple other wrestlers, but I can name 3. Is it 3? Besides Jacob Fatu, not many wrestlers can make me smile just by the mention of his name, or the second he or she comes out, or the second I see them on my TV screen. Not many wrestlers can make me smile just by the look of them. Jacob Fatu is one of them. At first I was yeah, I don't like him, but yeah, I'm a fan. Number 13, Ludwig Kaiser. He lasted 6 seconds. I'm sorry. Hopefully next year he'll have a better showing. But, moving on. Number 14, The Miz. Number 15, I'm so excited for this man. TNA champion, Joe Hendry. Literally, the entire day before the Rumble started, I was working. When the Royal Rumble first started. So I missed, the first... Besides the, just the main show, besides the kickoff show, I missed the first, the first 2.5 hours of the show. So, but literally the entire night, the entire day before I started watching the show, I was I want to see Joe Hendry in the Rumble. TNA and WWE signed this crossover contract type of thing. So we're bound to see at least one TNA star in both Royal Rumble matches, and I'm telling you right now, I want it to be Joe Hendry. So the gasp I let out and the smile, the grin that came across my face the second I heard say his name and he appears, I believe in Joe Hendry, I was yes, I'm so happy. But yeah, like I said, I've never seen a single episode of TNA, but after seeing Joe Hendry in NXT and at the Royal Rumble, just for him, I'm going to start watching it. Like I don't think he's ever been in WWE before, but just for Joe Hendry, I want to start watching TNA, and also for a few wrestlers that have left WWE and went to TNA, like Dolph Ziggler. Who else is in TNA? I can't remember. But Dolph Ziggler, I know he was originally in WWE and he went to TNA. I think Dana Brooke, who's now known as Ash by Elegance, is in TNA. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, there's a lot of wrestlers in TNA that I've actually heard of and seen before. Like I think Rosemary's in TNA and she was on NXT. So, but yeah, I want to start watching TNA this week. So we'll see. If I think about it and I don't forget about it, I will. I'm off Thursday, so I'll probably be able to. Number 16, Roman Reigns, which I'm not the only one because I watched a video of people reacting to the Rumble on Instagram earlier, and a few people, just like me, are pretty surprised that he entered at number 16. A lot of people, I think, thought that he was going to enter in like the later numbers, like 24 or something like that, 25, which I think he was around 25 or 26 in my entry predictions. So I was pretty surprised to hear his music hit at number 16, but Roman's always been one of my favorites, so regardless of what number he entered at, I was going to be happy, so. Moving on. Number 17, Drew McIntyre. Number 18, Finn Balor. Number 19, Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 20, Jey Uso. Number 22, nope. Number 21, the returning AJ Styles. I'm very happy he's back. Number 22, Braun Strowman. Number 23, John Cena. His last Royal Rumble match. Moving on. Number 24, CM Punk. Number 25, Seth Rollins. Number 26, Dominic Mysterio. Number 27, Sami Zayn. Number 28, Damian Priest. I love Damian Priest. Number 29, LA Knight. And number 30 is Logan Paul, or was Logan Paul. By the way, very unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of him, but I'm actually a fan of Logan Paul. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. Yeah, I'm a fan. Anyway, the match lasted an hour and 20 minutes and 15 seconds, which, aside from the greatest Royal Rumble match, is that like the longest regular Royal Rumble match in history? I think. Moving on. Anyway, Jey Uso won by last eliminating John Cena. Like, literally, when I was watching the show, and I saw John Cena and Jey Uso were the final two, I was like, okay, John's winning this. Like, this is his last Royal Rumble. This is his last run with the company. He has to win. No, sir. Jey Uso countered the, I don't know what, I'm assuming he was trying to do the attitude adjustment to eliminate Jey Uso. But when Jey Uso countered that one move on John Cena's shoulders, I knew he was going to win because he was going to counter it and push him off. And he did that. I mean, I'm not mad by any means. I love Jey Uso. He's one of my favorites ever. He is so fun to watch. Yeet. But yeah, every time he comes out, I'm like yeeting every single time. But, like, literally, it's a very subtle yeet that I do. Like, I could be, like, sitting next to my mom, watching Raw, eating chips and chocolate bar, and as I'm eating, I would go. But yeah. I love Jey Uso. I'm very happy he won. I was, like I said, pretty surprised in a good way. But, again, not mad at it at all. I honestly can't see him. I think he's going to choose Gunther. I want him to choose Gunther. And maybe he might win. I can see it happening, honestly. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to see more content from me. And I will see you guys next week for my What I Got for Valentine's Day video. Bye, guys.